So hi guys, today we would be looking at using pre-trained models in TensorFlow. So basically what we would be doing is we would be applying transfer learning to cats versus dog model. We have done a lot of models in which we did image classification using cats and dogs in dataset or horse versus human datasets. But here we would be using a pre-trained model. So what is basically a pre-trained model? Till now we created models from scratch itself, but from here we would be creating we would not be creating models from scratch. We would be importing some models that are already pre-built in a TensorFlow hub. So if you don't know much about TensorFlow hub, I would be telling you in the further tutorial. So here you can see, if you need to learn more, we would be using a model named Inception v3 here. So if you need to know more about that particular model Inception v3, you can come here and see at the TensorFlow website. So here you can see this function returns a Keras image classification model optionally loaded with image weights pre-trained on ImageNet. So this model has already been trained on a lot of images that are available on ImageNet, and this model is already filled with a lot of data set and is ready to be merged with that data set and perform on that. So what we would be basically doing here is we would be importing the TensorFlow libraries, Keras libraries, and from TensorFlow.keras application Inception v3 we would be importing Inception v3, and from here we would be telling the local weight file that where the model is going to be stored, and from here the pre-trained model would be defined. We are naming it pre-trained model. Okay, here we would be putting it the input shape as 150 by 3 just like last time. And if you are thinking what input shape is, I have already told you, but here you can see boolean whether to include the fully connected layer at the top as the last layer of the neural network. Default it is true. And then you can see there are include top. Here you can see I have already told you. Then weights. So coming to weights, one of the none, ImageNet, or the path on the weights file to be loaded. So here we want to tell that whether this weight should be defined in the model, the weight file that is defined, or we are going to do that on ImageNet dataset. So we won't be doing that. So here we would be doing brain trained dot load weights, where we would be defining that where our local weight file is, where our files are. So for layer in for layer in pre-trained models, layer dot trainable equals to false. We don't want to train them again because they are already pre-trained. That is the reason we are putting them here. Then if you want to see summary, I've already run this summary. You can see this is a very big model, and this is only I guess 2% of the whole model. You can see here there are a lot of layers that are trained on. Total parameters are 20 I guess 21,000 21 lakh 80,000 to 200, like something like that, and non-trainable params are like that. Okay, now so this is how models are going to work. So if you want to learn more about pre-trained models, you can go directly to TensorFlow hub. What is TensorFlow hub? You can find a lot of pre-trained models here. Lets you search and discover hundreds of trained ready to deploy machine learning models in one place. If you want to do for text problems domain, you can see here. If you want to look for image problem domain, you can look here. For example, classification, you can see there are a lot of model. You can see landmark, inefficient, Inception v3, you can see Renset 50, this is a very famous one, and just like that there are a lot of models available at TensorFlow hub. Coming back to the main notebook, so yeah, we now what would be doing, defining a model, how it should be trained, and what are all the parameters that we would be defining. The activation function is going to be sigmoid and ReLU, and 1024 is going to be the layer, and layers.dense, and we would be adding a dropout layer of 0.2 here, and we would be then telling the model that okay, model is going to be the pre-trained model, and then we would be defining the layers on how many layers the model should be trained. So we have basically what we have done, we have imported that model, and then we are training it on the defined parameters that we are giving it. We have took the model from TensorFlow hub, and now we are defining the parameters on which it would be trained. Yeah, here I have already run the cell. Now coming to the next part, We have already did this before, that we are going to define the image data generator, the local zip file where all our images would be stored, and we would be telling the model that okay, this is where our directory of images are stored in this directory. And then we would be telling that rescale, rotation, range, width, shift. I have already told you in previous video. Now coming down here, we are defining train generator. We are again importing datagen.flow from directory and datagen.flow from directory. So this is how we are defining train generator and validation generator here. And here you can see that 2000 images belongs to two classes and 1000 images belongs to two classes, defining the number of images in test and validation feature. Now here we would be defining history equals to model.fit, where we are giving train generator, validation data equals to validation generator, steps per epoch equals to 100. Yeah, I have increased it a bit, but last time I did like this, I was doing steps per epoch equals to 8 and epochs were 100. So I have made some changes: steps per epoch equals to 100 and epochs equals to 20, validation steps equals to 50 and verbose equals to 2. If you want, you can do it 1 also. It looks good when you see your model getting trained and that animation feature of Keras, which is available in model.fit. And then you import matplotlib.pyplot.splt, and then you would be let the model see how the training and validation accuracy is working like. So here you can see the training accuracy is going pretty normal. Yeah, it's increasing, but validation accuracy also did much better this time than last time, because it is not overfitting this time. You can see the training accuracy is 95.95, that is almost 96, but the validation accuracy is like 96.8, that is almost 97% touching. So that is pretty cool, because we are not overfitting the model. And overfitting, what the model does, it start learning the images, that okay, this is only a cat, and it doesn't focus on features part. So yeah, it starts grabbing up features and all and things. So this is how we improved the model. We took a pre-trained model from TensorFlow Hub, and we made it capable, integrated with our data set, and we defined a parameters on which it would be trained, and then we took the following steps to train it. Here you can see, if I come to the image classification and click on any one of it, that is, let's click on Inception v3, you can see a whole document related to that. You can even download the model if you want to. It would be in .h5, and you can copy URL 85.56 MB the model is. So this is a saved in TensorFlow 2 format. It requires 2 or above, and you can see usage here, that how you can use this, and fine-tuning changelog, and you can see a lot of things, the GitHub code for this model. And this model was updated on 29th of July, that is I guess today. Yeah, so yeah, these models are constantly trained and they are being tested every day. If you want to see on TF Lite, you can even see on TF Lite, there are a lot of models available. So yeah, it's nice that we have got a lot of already available models. You just need to call them using Keras API, like I did here. If I go above here, you can see that from tensorflow.keras.application inception v3 we imported it, and just like that you can import other models. If you want, you can import ResNet model here. Means totally depend on what kind of model you want and what kind of stuff you are doing with machine learning and TensorFlow. Depending on that, you need to define the model and call it here using the Keras and TensorFlow APIs. So this is how we improve the model efficiency. So this was it for the video. I would be linking, I would put the link to the collaboratory in the description section as usual. So thank you for watching the video and have a nice day.